Good evening and welcome to the channel's studios here in London with your international news around the world in 5. NATO members have pledged their support for an irreversible path to future membership for Ukraine, as well as more aid.
We can and will defend every inch of NATO territory, and we'll do it together.
While a formal timeline for it to join the military alliance has not been agreed at the summit in Washington, D.C., the military alliance's 32 members said they had unwavering support for Ukraine's war effort. NATO has also announced further integration with Ukraine's military, and members have committed $40 billion in aid in the next year, including F-16 fighter jets and air defense support.
The work we are doing together now will ensure that when the time is right, Ukraine can join without delay. It is not a question of if, but when.
The Israeli military has told all residents of Gaza City to evacuate south to the central Gaza Strip amid intensified operations in the north. Leaflets dropped by aircraft instruct everyone in Gaza City to leave what is described as a dangerous combat zone via designated safe routes. The UN has said it is deeply concerned about the evacuation orders being given. It is the second time since the war began that Gaza City as a whole has been asked to evacuate. Over the past 2 weeks, Israeli forces have re-entered several districts where the military believes Hamas and Palestinian Islamic Jihad fighters have regrouped since the start of the year. The first wife of the late leader of the jihadist group Islamic State, Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi, has been sentenced to death by a court in Iraq. Kark Criminal Court convicted the woman of working with the extremist organization and detaining Yazidi women. An Interior Ministry official identified her as Asma Mohammed, also known as Hudayfa. She was married to Baghdadi while he oversaw the group's brutal rule over large parts of Iraq and neighboring Syria. George Clooney has issued a damning call for Joe Biden to quit the US presidential race hours after senior Democrat Nancy Pelosi swerved questions about whether he should continue. The Hollywood actor and prominent Democratic fundraiser said that the president had won many battles in his career, but the one battle he cannot win is the fight against time. His comments came after Ms. Pelosi, the former House Speaker, joined growing disquiet in the party, saying that time was running short for Mr. Biden to decide whether to stay in the race. A suspect wanted over a crossbow attack which left 3 women dead in the UK has been captured. A major police manhunt for Kyle Clifford ended when he was found injured near a cemetery in North London. The victims, who were the wife and 2 daughters of the BBC racing commentator John Hunt, were attacked at their home in Hertfordshire. The Chinese government says it will investigate allegations that fuel tankers have been used to transport cooking oil after carrying toxic chemicals without being cleaned properly between loads. The controversy has spread online as social media users express concern about potential food contamination. Tankers used for transporting fuel were found to be carrying food products like cooking oil and syrup and were not decontaminated correctly. The case is the latest blow to public trust in the Chinese government's ability to enforce food safety standards. And England football fans are celebrating after the men's team gave themselves a chance to win their first major trophy since the 1966 World Cup with a 2-1 win over the Netherlands. The British Prime Minister, Sir Keir Starmer, here watching the Euros semi-final game with his Dutch counterpart, Dick Schoof, on the sidelines of the NATO summit. And celebrities were involved too. Here, Ed Sheeran sitting metres away from Adele, cheering England's equaliser in the stadium last night. And the band The Killers paused their gig to watch the end of the game, playing their world-famous hit Mr. Brightside at the final whistle. And that's your international news around the world in 5. Now back to the channel's studios in Lagos.